This past week, I went on a trip to the Dominican Republic, and it was in light of World Water Day. I was joined by contestants from the Miss Dominican Republic pageant and children who were sponsored through Children's International, who actually live in Bayaguana and benefit from cleaning this river. And I have to say, you know, I've done mission work before in Guatemala, in New Mexico, and Spain. I've seen poverty, but nothing compares to the kind of poverty that I witnessed in Bayaguana. One little girl in particular, whenever I got to the village, and she ran up to me, and she grabbed my hand and looked up at me and smiled, and she had the most radiant face. She was just glowing, and my heart melted. I went and saw her home, and her dad had been killed 2 weeks before in a fight. Her mom is 20 years old. She had 4 children, and I was like, I couldn't leave her there without doing something to help her. So I became her madrina, which in Spanish means godmother. And so I sponsored her through Children's International. I adopted her as my little girl. To sponsor a child is $22 a month for Children's International, and I got to see firsthand how beneficial Children's International can be. So I totally believe in Children's International, what they're all about. I think it's wonderful. It's so easy to do. And I was just, you know, being on this trip in Dominican Republic really put life in perspective. Healthcare legislation just made history. You know, it was just passed, and I don't understand, you know, all the intricacies and all the details about this new healthcare reform plan. I kind of learned based on my last trip in the Dominican Republic. I was working with primary care physicians and Dr. Talaj and Dr. Capia talking about the need for more primary care physicians and doctors for America and how important it is. So my hope is that this reform bill will provide more incentives and will have more primary care physicians. But what really surprises me about this whole thing is kind of the reaction that the legislation has gotten. I mean, people seem to be very passionate on either side, and you know, just seeing reports about people acting out violently, sending bombs to people's houses, spitting on senators. It kind of blows my mind. Violence is never the way to go, and I think that what I love about America is we normally don't resort to that, and we're normally leaders and set examples to other countries in how to handle things. So it kind of blows my mind in how Americans are reacting to something that's a democratic process and how it's supposed to be helping all of us.